up, y'all? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 15, episode 16, and it was all shenanigans. Nothing but shenanigans. So let's get into it. All right, you guys, so before we get into it, we gonna get a little spicy, and I just want to play 2 audio clips for you. One of Sheree doing an interview with the lady that owns the Jasmine brand, as well as Angela Yee, talking about Kandi and Mayetta, and the second clip will be about Kandi addressing Sheree's new face. So let's get into that.
A little, she's a girl's girl.
Okay.
She can be a little good. Why are you looking like that? You don't like Courtney?
I don't know. I don't know yet. The jury's still out.
Fun. I think she's fun, but I like the fact that she can hold her own. I mean, how many people can? I don't want to give you too much, but yeah, she can definitely hold her own.
Yes. Well, she came out swinging, so I mean,
she did.
Yeah, and when you so it's hard as a viewer. I'm a regular viewer. It's hard to know if this is really her personality or if she's just trying to have a moment so she can stay on the show, because you don't know someone's personality initially. So it's just like, is this who she is, or is she just trying to have us talk about her? You know. That's all.
I think that it was a genuine. It didn't come across very well because it was like the first episode. You're like, wait a minute. They're just meeting. But that was something that was, she wanted to talk about, and Kandi apparently wanted to talk about it as well. But knowing Courtney, our kids actually went to school together.
Okay.
So
you know her.
Yeah. And she's a girl's girl. She's fun. She's a fun girl.
Okay.
But I like the fact that she also holds her own. Sure.
Okay. What about Mayetta?
She's professional.
What about Mayetta?
What about Mayetta?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, but are you getting along? You're not getting along with Kandi this season either, right?
Kandi and I had a little bump in the road
because she spoofed you, which was funny.
It was funny.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, when you're talking about, she spoofed me, but she also kept going on her show talking about my business.
Okay.
Right.
So we're all black women, and we're trying to make it, and we're trying to support our families.
Right.
So I've supported Kandi's businesses.
Okay.
When I was on the show and off the show, I would take people to restaurants. I go play, to her plays, and I pay my own way, and I pay whoever else way that was with me.
That's how you support your friends.
That's how you support your friends. But when you're continuously coming on your platform and you're talking negatively about my brand, it took a while. It took a while to come out. But you're talking negatively about my brand, and I never said anything about your brand. That can hurt my brand.
Okay.
So since you started
real life.
let me finish it.
Yeah, that's real life business.
Yeah, that's real life
to have
business.
somebody kind of bashing what you have going on.
Yeah, and we're supposed to be women who support. You say you support. You're pro woman. You're pro. Woman empowerment. Black businesses.
The next audio we're gonna listen to is Kandi talking about Sheree on Speak On It with Drew about the new face, which everyone's been talking about.
And this is the other sidebar. This ain't got nothing to do with the show, but I was laughing before I started to this because I was looking at my timeline, and doggone Sheree looked just like you now.
Hello. Speak on that.
Okay, so you thought that too?
A lot of people have been saying that, like her hair color's changing.
Am I true?
Send it to me. Like people have been saying that to me, like, oh, her hair color is looking similar, like different things. But send me the picture you're referencing so I can see.
All right.
Because I don't know.
There it is.
The girls like to use my makeup arts now. Okay, here it is. Oh, hello. Oh. Wait, that looks like me at Brooklyn Tea Party. It's giving vibes. It's giving, I've inspired the lady.
I don't know. It's giving new face, but okay. But all right, girl. I gotta finish this.
Be updated, but I miss you. I really hope we can get together. So
the first video, this is what I'm thinking. I kind of agree with Sheree's sentiments about Mayetta. Mayetta is, why you here? That's how I feel about her. And we'll talk about that when we get to the review. Why are you here? Courtney, I met the Courtney. Like, I could see where Courtney would be fun for the franchise, but I also could take or leave her, to be absolutely honest. When it comes to Sheree's opinions on Kandi and their relationship, to me, there's always been underlining tension between Sheree and Kandi, where Kandi's always bringing up how she's always trying to help Sheree with her business but also giving her digs at the same time. And that's not to say that Sheree don't be throwing digs at Kandi, because she does. But I can understand from Sheree's point of view where it's like, you're supposed to be my friend. And yeah, you did the spoofs. Honestly, the spoofs in the beginning were kind of funny, but eventually it became like chewing gum. Eventually it lost its flavor and they got corny and cringy to me. But Kandi doing the first spoof of the reunion, I thought I got a chuckle out of it. But after a while, I was like, okay, so I can get Sheree being like, yeah, it was funny, but you still talking about me on your show, on Speak On It. And after a while, constantly being talked about by your friends and it being a critique, you start to look at your friend a different way. You start to be like, yeah, you're not really my friend. And if they would just admit they not cool like that, instead of both of them always saying like, oh no, we have a friendship. We've been there for each other. We support each other. Then I would understand. But if to me, Kandi is starting to reach territory like Dr. Heavenly, where eventually everyone's going to get tired of you, especially the ones that you keep talking about, and they're going to start coming for you. So this leads me to the second clip of Drew and Kandi talking about Sheree's face. I don't think Sheree's face looks too bad, but I also think she got fillers because someone posted a screenshot of when she got them done last year, so they'll probably dissolve. But she do look like Hazel E, like the people been saying. She don't look nothing like Drew, because Drew has Portia's face, which the diva pointed out. Shout out to Erica De Niro, because her face, she kind of is trying to morph into Portia a little bit. I could kind of see it. But for me, it's just like, Kandi can say all of this, but don't be mad if Sheree and them bring up yo mama, yo man, your businesses, bullets and biscuits, as well as this situation with Sukiyana when it come to the reunion, as a way to throw it back in your face. You gotta be prepared. And it's starting to feel like people don't want to confront Kandi because Kandi's supposed to be the new supreme of the show, but it ain't working because them ratings ain't hitting like they used to. But let's get into this review. So y'all, the episode opens up and the peoples was mad, including me. I don't know if I was mad, but I was just like, ooh, that rubbed me the wrong way kind of energy. So they open up the episode and they go all the way back to 2011. And what set the people off is they had put in the intro card of where all the ladies are holding the peaches, but they were using the intro card for 2011. So you got Sheree, Kim, Kandi, Phaedra, and Cynthia in the intro card, and Nene, who's behind Phaedra, is not there. She's visibly not there. So the people was like, oh, no, you didn't. And like somebody said on Twitter, there was no need to take Nene out, or even show that, because none of the scenes that they were showing, Nene was an integral part in. Maybe we saw her one time when she said she wanted to be Kandi's like stylist, but other than that, there was no reason to show that. Y'all just showed that to be petty. And y'all y'all got the backlash for it. Because I was watching the episode on Peacock and they didn't even put that intro card in there. They just went immediately to flashing 2011 because they saw how frustrated and angry people were. Because the truth of the matter is, even though I know Nene nuked that bridge with Bravo and she poured acid on it, so it's never being able to be rebuilt. Okay, it's gone. It is gone. It is gone. She helped build Bravo. She was a pivotal part in Bravo being a household name and us having references about a Bravo check and all of that stuff, because she helped build that. Like, when you look at Housewives shows, the three people that come to mind that I feel like helped build this network is Teresa, is Nene, is Vicky Gunvalson. You think about Beverly Hills, you got Kim Richards, Lisa Vanderpump, like iconic scenes or household names that made people tune into Bravo, help cement Bravo in pop culture. That to try to erase that is disgusting to me. And I get it. That lady, that she messed it up. And I'm saying this as someone who was like, Nene was my fave. Still to this day. You know, she crazy now. But like all the things that she has done for reality TV and all the moments, I still can quote things like, I got a Trump check, you know, or, you know, I don't even like white refrigerators because of Nene. Like, Like, they don't look right to me. It's like she has done a lot for pop culture that I get it. She messed up. She utterly messed up. And that is her cross to bear. But don't try to erase what she did for y'all, because without her, no one would really know what a Bravo is. Like, let's be real. Nobody was really watching Bravo like that until Real Housewives came to Bravo by way of Andy. If Andy Cohen hadn't did what he did, Bravo would Bravo would probably be lower than TL. Now, I don't say TLC is pretty big. Let's say WeTV. Like, probably lower than WeTV. Because even though I watch shows on WeTV, the only thing people remember from WeTV is Love After Lockup. That's and Braxton Family Values. If they hadn't got Braxton Family Values when they did, we would not know what a WeTV was. So count your blessings, Bravo. So they're basically showing all these scenes of interactions between Marlow and Candy, the good times, the not so great times, but ultimately trying to show that their relationship was pretty good until they got to this season. They even showed a clip of Candy and Marlow talking about Quentin's passing, and it was a deleted scene, so we never saw it, but Candy did acknowledge it. Candy was there. She might have not done what Marlow wanted her to do, but she was there. Like, you can't dictate how people show up for you, to be honest. You sometimes just got to be happy that they even showed up. So we then have this scene of Marlow with her managers, the husband and wife duo. And my thing about it is, you can see your friend, but also call your friend out. Like, Marlow has severe abandonment issues, as well as she's not able to curate healthy relationships with women by way of her relationship with her mom. We just gonna have to call a thing. And it doesn't look like anybody has ever stepped in for Marlow and been that motherly figure or that parental figure, because we don't even know about her dad, because her dad probably, like, so if her dad is not there, she has like deep abandonment issues. And y'all know I don't like Drew, but I'll give a point to Drew when Drew was talking to Ralph about, like, you can't use your trauma to justify the way you treat people. And that's true. Like, you let people know that you have trauma, but the fact that you know that you have trauma, that means you acknowledge that you need help. Marlow needs more than a life coach. She needs to be in somebody's therapy sessions weekly to unpack and delve into, like, what really happened to her. Because you can't tell me worse things have happened to Marlow. Like, she probably done seen some things. But her friends are just sitting there pretty much not really holding her to task about her behavior. And that's because sometimes when we have friends, they always see the good in you. And it's good to have people around you that always see the good in you. But you need people around you that see the good in you, but will call you out when you full of it. And though her friend sitting at that table should have told her, like, girl, I get where you coming from. I get you wanting to be acknowledged. But if she's not going to do that, it's time for you to move on. And you probably need to say sorry to Drew for the way that you acted towards her. So next we see Sonya with her family. Her mom is so pretty. Her confessional, she just looks regal and just beautiful. But she's in the kitchen with her mom and her sisters. The boys are running around, and Sonya is trying to apologize to her sister about making her feel some type of way, as she brought up that Ross wants them to leave. And I don't get the sister. I really don't. It's giving that she knows her husband is a bum, and once she leaves the house, she's going to be footing the bill, because she keeps trying to throw it on Sonya, being like, well, you know, if we leave, that's going to be a huge hole in you guys' like life, which is true. Like, they're going to have to find a way to fix it. You know, Ross is always gone. Sonya is always traveling and gone. But my thing is they'll make do. Like, they have the money enough to pay a nanny or someone that they trust to watch their kids. But if you want to leave, then leave, because the mom brings up that she wants to leave, but the father wants to stay in Atlanta. And then the sister brings up that, you know, they're preparing to leave. So I'm like, if you're preparing to leave, why would I don't get why her sister made the comment about, well, you're not trying to fight for us. And Sonya's like, but you're trying to leave. Like, I wouldn't fight for people that want to leave. If you want to be free, I'm going to set you free. I'm not going to hold on to you. And it's weird. Like, the sisters being weird because it's giving, for a fact, if y'all get out there in the real world, because you can't tell me they're helping pay the mortgage. They're like, Sonya and Ross are probably the ones paying the mortgage in that house and keeping groceries in that home. It don't look like she contributes or that man contributes. So you freeloading. So at least you could do is babysit if you're not putting in on these bills and this rent because your man ain't got a job in 2 years. Girl, if I was you, I would shut up, sit down, and eat my food so I don't get kicked out on my ass. But that's just me. We then see this scene of Kenya finding out that she's going to open up Kenya Moore Hair Studio. So basically like a hair salon. The concept sounds like a cute idea. She said this was going to be a legacy for Brooklyn. You know how Kenya feel about her baby. So it's understandable. She brings her friend. I think her name is like Kayla. Y'all know I'm horrible with names, but we know the NFL WAG lady. They sit down and they have a conversation, and Kenya starts to debrief her on everything that happened in Birmingham. We find out that Marlow banging on the door did scare Brooklyn, and that's why Kenya was on 10, which is understandable in her right. She then tells the girl about Marlow and her mug shots, which I'm getting tired of them constantly bringing up Marlow's past, because I was like, if y'all had an issue with it when y'all first met her in 2011, then y'all should have spoke up so she was no longer a part of this. But y'all actively welcomed her into the fold. Like, Kenya, you became friends with Marlow to spite Nene, and Candy continued her relationship with Marlow. So the mug shots and the slicing of the face wasn't that big a deal to y'all when it was benefiting you. But now that y'all don't like her, you're throwing it in her face, and it's like it's tired. Because if she ain't stabbed one of y'all yet, then is it that much of a big deal? But okay. So the girl is like, she's stressed because Kenya's telling her all of this. The lady's eyes is darting back and forth like, is she gonna come and stab us? Like, this is a lot. It's a lot. They then bring up about Kenya dating, which I don't care about, because I'm like, we ain't seen the man, so obviously you're not that serious about him. But I do appreciate her being smarter about this, because Kenya has always been stupid to me in the decision that she made to be with Mark, because you didn't know him. You knew him for 6 months and decided to procreate and marry him. And now you've been getting a divorce for the past 5 years because he's an asshole and doesn't want to work with what you're trying to do. Ugh, my God, today. So then we see Sheree. We go to her house and we see Cairo, his baby mama, and Mecca, the newborn baby, and one of Sheree's daughters. And it was a cute scene. It was a cute scene. Like, when Sheree was crying in the confessional, I felt for her, because, it must be a good feeling to know that you raised your son right, in the way of like he would take care of his own children. Because if you think about it, Bob is garbage and left Sheree to take care of 3 kids by herself, and she didn't have a man to like the father of her kids to step up and be there. So I guess it probably gives her a sense of pride and joy to know that her son ain't trash like his daddy, So before we get to Courtney's event, they go to this place called Beat the Bomb, and I Googled it. It looks like fun. It looks like fun. And, you get shot with paint at the end of it. But before that, we see Candy and Todd at the house getting prepared. This is Courtney's event, so she texted everyone for them to come. And Kenya, I think Candy FaceTimes Kenya, or somebody calls her. And we could tell Kenya's like at a birthday party with Shamia, and Kenya basically tells Candy about the whole situation with Drew, and tells her about, what Marlow has been saying about the whole shooting that happened at OLG, as well as what happened to her nephew Quentin when he lost his life. And it's pissing Candy off, because she's trying to associate me with that, or my business with that, and that is not that's not the case. That's not what happened. So Candy isn't happy. So we see everybody show up to the Beat the Bomb place, and the vibes are kind of like everyone's excited until Candy gets there, and the energy it goes down, because Candy is in a mood. So Candy is like, you know what, Marlow, as she's sitting at the table, she was like, my energy is going to be off until we have this conversation. So Marlo's like, can you and Drew have this conversation? So they go over to the side and they're talking, and things go left real quickly. They're having the conversation about the shooting. We find out that Quentin did work with Candy. Marlo brings up like pictures. He was at functions, but Candy is like, I did not know him like that, nor was this like the incident that happened to him should be linked to me just because he met somebody at OLG. And Candy was like, the person that took your cousin's life did not work at OLG, but I guess they met at OLG because unfortunately the person became Quentin's roommate. So they're going back and forth. Candy's getting upset. She's getting angry because she's like, Marlow is trying to, do mental gymnastics to try to connect Candy to this situation, and it doesn't make sense anymore. While they're arguing and going back and forth, things get real heated because Candy starts being mad aggressive with Marlow. And I got her frustrations, but she the one who started smacking her hands in that lady's face and lunging at her. And Drew blatantly out here lying, saying that Marlow had her hands out. But when you look back at the scene, Marlow's hands were either behind her back or they were on her waist, because she, like, Marlow knows because she's a convicted felon, she gonna go to jail. So they're going back and forth. You see Kenya run up, try to defuse the situation. She telling she's telling Kenya, don't touch me, don't hold me, because if she get crazy, I'm about to get crazy, which I understand, because girl, you let me be able to defend myself. So everybody comes up, everyone's trying to defuse the situation. They usher Candy outside. She brings up the text messages around that time that this happened, where basically Marlow asked if Candy knew her nephew, and she didn't. She kind of did, but she didn't like that. She knew of him, but didn't know him like that. But then Kenya brings up, well, after that, 5 days after that, Marlow talked about being a part of like Cameo with her, which didn't make sense because I didn't think it was valid, because it's like, just because someone dies in your family or someone close to you dies, you still got to make money to sustain yourself. Like, I had to go to work after I lost a family member. I took off time and had to go back. So I still got to make money. So that didn't make sense to me. They're all trying to figure out what's going on, because before they ushered Candy outside, you got Marlow being like, all you gonna do is cry, and Candy's like, I'm crying because I can't choke your ass. So they're going back and forth, and my whole thing is, the situation is stupid now, because Marlow is saying that Candy didn't acknowledge the situation, but we have video evidence that she did. She may not have acknowledged it the way she wanted you to, but she did. So it's like, what's the end goal, Marlow? And I was watching one of my my mutuals on Bee Sting's video where she was like, we're not invested in Real Housewives of Atlanta's cast anymore. And that's the truth. Like, what is there to be invested with? Like, these storylines are old. And I'm kind of annoyed because I was like, y'all promised me a good season, and this ain't doing what I thought it was going to do. And it also, the energy coming off of Kenya and Candy is giving very much, we're two seniors playing with sophomores and freshmen, and they not giving us anything. Because Kenya does not engage with Marlow. She doesn't give Marlow anything, and neither does Candy. And it's like, even though y'all are not giving her anything, y'all aren't giving anything either in these group scenes. And these personal storylines aren't good enough for the group scenes not to be good, if you get what I'm saying. Like, I don't care about Sheree and Martell. Do not care. Don't care about that man, nor this relationship. It's cute that she a grandma. Beautiful, beautiful baby, beautiful situation. Don't care. Sonya and her family. I think this is a cute storyline, but it's time to wrap it up by the middle of the season, because everyone is actively telling Sonya they trying to peel out. So let them leave. I'm not fighting for nobody to stay in my house that don't want to be there. So we can let this situation go. When it comes to Candy and Mama Joyce and Todd and the whole situation at Old Lady Gang, Candy's been allowing Mama Joyce to disrespect her husband for the past 10 years. You might as well give it 20, because you never gonna stand up to your mama the way you really need to in order to make sure your husband feel comfortable, which is an issue that you caused for yourself. But we've been seeing that for the past 10 years. Okay. And if you're not going to dive into what's really going on with Old Lady Gang and why y'all keep having violent incidences, such as shootings, then what's the point? Then with Drew, I don't really care about her music career. I would rather see her, trying to do acting gigs because I think she's better at that, but that's just my opinion. But I also don't care about this marriage because Drew and Ralph give me stunt queens. They give me, we're putting on the show so we can keep this check. Because if she does not divorce this man or is not actively divorcing him when we get to season 16, then I know this was a ruse, a sham, and mess and shenanigans. Then you got Marlow. I'm understanding about the whole situation with your nephew, but I really do not care because that happened 2 years ago, as well as you being a Muntie is not that big of a deal anymore because you've been doing it for the past 6 or 7 years. You chose that life. Do that life, And then, who else? Kenya. I don't really care about Kenya dating. Did I say Kenya already? I don't think I did, but if I did, basically, I don't care about Kenya's dating history. Hopefully she'll get a divorce. I think it's cute that she wants to open up this studio, and I hope it comes to fruition, but I don't care about it. It's like y'all's personal storylines are not going to hold us because these group scenes is not giving what needs to be given. Because the drama is not making sense. Marlow is turning into Giselle, where it's like you're making these storylines or you're trying to curate this drama, but there's no you're not a good conductor. You're not really conducting where we're trying to go and or if you are trying to conduct this drama, where you're trying to lead us is stupid because it's not making sense. And the sad thing about it is everyone was so excited for Marlow to get her peach that I probably think by next season, she probably gonna get that thing snatched away or get demoted and just be a friend of Sheree's. And if that happens, I guess, but it's looking like Candy nor Kenya want to even participate or engage with her. So there's no point. I honestly think at this point, we just need a whole new cast. And like I said, I think in my last review, if Real Housewives of New York, if their reboot is actually good, they might start getting rid of people and start scrapping the ladies and putting legacy shows on Peacock for the people to watch. So the ladies either need to figure out how they're going to move forward or actively petition them to get rid of Marlow and put somebody else in her spot. Because I think the show could actually be worthwhile if they got rid of Marlow and possibly kept Courtney and maybe even Monyetta and move forward that way. But I don't know. I don't. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic. Remember to subscribe and drop down in them comments below. Deuces.